Scipio, can you hear me now?
Sure you have the thing on?
I don't know. I've never used it before. It's new. I don't know. Can you go to the room and see?
All right.
Thank you. Okay, let's take it off. Yeah, that's fine. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I had technical difficulties with my new headset. I don't know why it's not connecting, but I'll figure it out, and I should have it good for the next time. Well, hold on. This little light just went on. Maybe I needed to turn it on. Let's see. Shall we? How about now? Can you hear me? Okay, it's on. Can you hear me now? Oh, great. Cool. Okay. All right, we got it fixed, honey. Yeah, we got it fixed. I don't want to yell because it's... Yeah. Okay. Okay, perfect. Yes, we're back. It's brand new, like I said. I guess I forgot to turn it on. Okay, guys. Let's restart this over, shall we? The opinions expressed in this broadcast are my own and do not represent the official views of the United States Postal Service, NAPS, UPMA, or any other organization. Everything shared here is for educational and awareness purposes under my rights protected by the First Amendment, the Whistleblower Protections Act, and Executive Order 14173, which defends merit-based fairness and protects federal employees from retaliation. I'm speaking as a citizen, a manager, and a person directly affected by these policies. Now we can get into some postal truth. We have some new people that are supposed to be coming on, so I want to kind of give a little overall review of who I am. And in case they miss it, thanks, Dorothy. Yeah, it's getting a little easier. Yeah, when I first started this a couple weeks back, a couple days ago, I was like, oh man, I'm so intimidated. I've never been one to get in front of a camera, but I've been getting a lot of private text messages and stuff, and I want to thank everybody for the support and all the blessings I've had. My wife got me this new this new microphone thing. We watched this guy called Trent the Traveler, and he does like RV camping and stuff, where he lives in his van and he plays games and stuff. And my wife and I watch him because he goes to different places. So I think it was the one about Sleepy Hollow he just did, where he talks about this thing. Anyway, yeah. EAS. I am a EAS manager of customer service for the Miami West Carrier Annex in Miami, Florida, Florida District number 3. And I am a victim of systemic retaliation, abuse of authority, abuse of FMLA, abuse of whistleblower acts, abuse of protections, abuse of everything you can think of. Yeah, I'm that poor guy that got it all. But we're not going to talk so much about me today because I've gotten some private messages over the last couple days. And some people wanted me to kind of dig in to the policy and some things that are affecting them directly. And you know what? The Postal Truth is about everybody, not myself only. So I want to help. So we're gonna dive into some policy today, and I'll give you my opinion on what I believe it means, and then from there, you guys take it away as you will, and we'll go from there. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about, because I kind of saw this online and I wanted to bring it up, we're going to talk about on-call duty. Okay, now the Postal Service has I'm trying to find the words here, a sometimes inappropriate way to tell someone they're on call. So we're going to tell you, or I'm going to tell you rather, what the policy says, and then you guys can go take it as you will. According to the Employee and Labor Relations Manual, Section 434.14, on-call time is not work time. If you're free to leave the facility, go home and live your life until called in. Thank you, Dorothy. But if you're required to stay close by, keep that phone glued to your ear, or you can't travel more than a few miles, that's restricted time. And by definition, restricted time is compensatable under the Fair Labor Standards Act. So if you're being told, stay ready all weekend, but not being paid for it, guess what? That's not dedication, that's unpaid labor. So keep that in mind, guys. If you are being told to be on call, you want to review ELM Section 434.14. Make sure you meet the criteria of that, because management will sometimes twist the policy. Now, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. This is merely my own opinion. As I said at the beginning of this live session, I will give you the information and you do with it as you will. Make sure you're writing stuff down. For those of you that don't write anything down or forget to, I usually upload this to the YouTube channel. So from there you can review it and play it back, rewind it, you know, all that good stuff. That's basically what the channel's for. I may dive into some more stuff in the future. We'll see where we go from there. But for now, yeah. Section 434, on-call duty. Pay attention to that. Okay, so know your rights, guys. Now, those that follow me know I posted this little meme. I took a picture of somebody's scanner that they posted about the scanner threat by management. Oh, show up in uniform on Halloween or you will receive corrective action. Yeah, guys, that's okay. I'm going to read the policy on it, on the uniform code, and then I'm going to read a little blurb I wrote about it, and then I'm going to give you a personal opinion about this because this is important. Okay. ELM Section 930 says uniforms are to keep employees easily identifiable and professional to the public. But here's the kicker. Only authorized positions are required to wear them. That means carriers, clerks, maintenance, and vehicle ops. Yes, you must wear your uniform when you go to work every day. Okay? But supervisors and managers, no. We're supposed to wear business attire, not carrier blues. Now, some of you guys go into your installations in the bigger cities, those managers should be in business attire. But you got managers running around with jeans and sneakers and, you know, a old shirt, and no one tells them anything, but they're violating ELM 930 by doing that. Now, if they're going to be lax with their dress code, then that goes for everybody, no? Just saying. You guys do with that what you will. Now, the reason why I brought up 930 and the ELM is because of the Halloween thing the little blurb I read online, and then I went and I made this little video on it, kind of like, you know, mocking it, because when I was a clerk and I worked in the station, we wore different shirts for holidays and stuff like that, but I did work in a small rural town, so that could be the difference. City carriers, city clerks, city everything are required to wear the uniforms. When I worked in Montana, the clerks in Ronald Reagan, they wore like little Christmas hats and stuff like that. Some of them wore Christmas shirts. I never said anything. Not because I didn't know the policy, but because it's Christmas. I mean, think about it. Yes, we should have the uniform because the policy says you need to wear it. But here's the thing. The customer walks in during Christmas and they want to see the lobbies decorated. They want to see the staff friendly, happy-go-lucky, dressed the part. You get what I'm saying? And those people come in and they spend money. So if you are dressed in your business or work uniform, you're not technically wrong, but you want these people to spend money, but yet you're barking down the necks of these people that are serving them. And I've never, personally, I've never touched that one. If the carriers wanted to come in with like Christmas hats and stuff, I never said nothing because, again, a happy worker is a productive worker. You treat your workers like dirt, they're not going to want to stay with you. And then these managers get mad because you got carrier Samantha wants to go to Buffalo instead of staying with you. Of course, you treat them like dirt. They're not going to stay there. But here's the problem. It's systemic. So even if you go from your local station, which I'm coming up on that in a bit. I got two stories today. One of them I'm still diving into, and the other one I did a little research before, a little recon before our little live session, but your workers are not going to stay with you. Now I'm talking as a manager, to my fellow managers and my supervisors. Guys, the carriers already know you have the authority. You don't need to flex yourself. You don't need to flex your authority. These are people. They come to work. They watch you. They watch your character. They watch your demeanor. Do they want to follow a leader that fraternizes with his fellow supervisors? Inappropriate behavior in the workplace? No. What you do is your business. You keep that out of the office. I'm not accusing anybody. It's just things I've seen along the way. You guys take that what you will, okay? But you can't act inappropriately and then expect your staff to respect you. And you can't conduct yourself like a dictator and expect these people to follow you or to do favors for you or to work that extra 4 hours for you or work that extra ditch, that extra what do you call it, piece. They're not gonna do it. And you can't make them. Yeah, you can force them, but it's gonna cost you in the end. This is why the Postal Service is dumping so much money, because you guys are not doing what you're supposed to do. You're not doing your jobs with integrity. Yeah, so that was my blurb to my constituents, my fellow management. They're going to be angry. They may not be angry. They may listen. Some of them may listen and say, you know what, he's kind of right. Maybe I need to like just a little bit. And then you're going to have those that are going to talk about me. Have fun. Talk away. I live rent-free in your head. That means it's working. Moving on. This week, someone out there thought it would be a good idea to send a scanner message banning costumes of any kind on Halloween. Quote, this is a quote, failure to comply will result in corrective action. Folks, seriously? Are we that allergic to morale? Is it that bad that they wear bat ears or a Jack Skellington hat for one day? They go on the routes. People see this. They say, man, the Postal Service is doing good. They got, look, their staff is happy. No. It's not like that everywhere you go, especially in Miami. I don't know what the numbers are now, but they were shit when I was there, and they're shit now probably. But what do I know? Not saying anything, just my own opinion. Nothing in the Elm bans Halloween fun. It just says you can't modify the uniform while you're on duty or delivering mail. A silly hat in the break room, fine. Delivering mail dressed like as Batman, probably not. Don't do that. But threatening discipline for showing holiday spirit, that's not leadership. That's fear management, and it's abuse of authority. And that's a violation of the Elm. And we went over that at the last session that we had here. What was that? I believe it was Elm 665. Yes, Elm 665.23. It's a violation. It's abuse of authority. So these supervisors are abusing their authority by threatening carriers and clerks and everybody else. It's against the policy. Guys, my managers, my fellow managers and supervisors, be careful, because those same people that tell you to do these things will be the same people that write you up later. Oh, excuse me, corrective action. These are the same people that will violate your rights later. First-hand proof. So again, 665.23 managers, don't violate the policy. You can't have your staff do stuff if you're going around doing it. Carriers, you know you're supposed to wear your uniform. 930, M930 says you have to wear it. Just make sure you wear it. Just don't modify it. Yeah, I mean, that's the policy. It says there's nothing in the Elm that says you can't do it. In fact, when I was a manager in physical on-duty manager in my station, I condoned it. I wanted the staff to work well together. I wanted everyone to work together as a team. I don't like division. That's not me. I don't work like that. I don't put people to fight one another so you can get them to do more. You do more by treating them like humans. Simple as that. But not everybody manages that way. I'm more of a hands-on manager. I don't believe in sitting in my office all day. The hardest job I had was a manager, because I was told I could not do the work. I had to have my staff do it for me. I had to tell them what to do. That's never something, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move on. So, the Elm was created basically to ensure that we as postal employees are following. Yeah, they suck at communicating. I agree, Dorothy. Which is why they created the Elm, because we're supposed to talk to one another. We are expected to work with a level of decorum above the rest, but we're not doing that for some reason. And I can't fathom why. I'm hearing a podcast now that was given to me by a listener, and I'm about 30 minutes in and I'm already annoyed. But I'll touch on that at the end. There's some things I want to add into that I'm not sure she is aware of. I hope she's watching so she can hear this. If not, it'll be up on the YouTube channel. I also have another listener on here who reached out to me privately, and I did dive into your case in more detail because I had a little more time. But yeah, we're gonna go into that. Now, again, this wasn't supposed to be something I was going to talk about today, but I promised this listener that I would, and I'm going to. I won't reveal your identity because it's not anybody's business. If you feel like doing it, that's on you. But thank you for reaching out, and I'm going to do my best to answer your question right now. So we're going to talk about removal and what the process is and where does it fail, where does it begin, and how management abuses their authority, 665.23, to circumvent that removal process. Now, this listener was explaining their situation to me, and I was a little annoyed because I said to myself, man, this should have never happened, but it did. And this is why we have this podcast out, and we got other places like Fed Up and Lino on Miami-Dade Transparency and everybody else speaking up now. JH and you know, it's people are tired. They're just tired. Rick Rock, everyone else we know that's doing this now, they're just tired. And they're not learning from their mistakes. They continue to make them. It's the definition of insanity. So before I dive into that particular situation, again, I'm not going to mention any names or anything. Okay, I'm just going to talk about what's the elm and then give my opinion, and then you take it from there, listener. The views expressed in this broadcast are my own, or this piece in particular, I'm going to say. The First Amendment, the Constitution, and the Whistleblower Protection Acts. Okay, I don't speak on behalf of the organization now when I talk about this situation. No unions, no labor organizations, no affiliate, nothing. Basically, this is for educational purposes only and informational purposes only, okay? Based on verified policy and documented experience. Now, again, verifiable. What is verifiable? I said at the last live session, what is documented? Not hearsay. Not Supervisor Joe said it was okay to suspend me for 7 days for no reason. No, it's not how you do it. Okay? So, today, yay, Lino, what's going on? What's up, buddy? Papito. All right, today we're going to talk about a real case involving a postal employee whose experience shows how fragile due process can be inside the system. This employee received a notice of removal from local management, not from labor relations. First of all, that's a no-no. Without physically seeing the paperwork and knowing the situation, again, I'm only going by what's in the elm. This is my opinion. Please check, verify what I'm saying just to make sure there are no problems. But again, when you're going to get a removal letter, it doesn't come from your manager. It comes from HR, labor relations. Labor relations, or the director of labor relations in your local area, the manager of labor relations, will write to you directly. Not your manager, not your supervisor, no. Anything with removal must come through headquarters. It must be headquarters approved before they remove you. This individual stated to me that they was removed by management, not by labor. Now, given that information alone, management violated ELM 650.2 and 650.4. Again, we're back to that 650 violation. Why are we back to that 650 violation? Because they did not give the employee the chance to state their situation and explain themselves before removal. They just removed the person. Okay? Now, this employee is still able to log on light blue. I can still log on to light blue too, which means the paperwork is there, but you're not separated from the Postal Service, which means they're keeping you on a non-pay status for no reason. Now, it was never officially processed, which means, again, why are you on removal? Okay. Here's the twist for this poor individual. The employee won the arbitration on every prior disciplinary action. Now, mind you, they gave this individual a 7-day suspension and then a 14-day suspension. This is out of Texas. Okay? Here's the problem with that. Management is not authorized to skip the due process of the employee, of the craft employee. They're supposed to work out ELM 650, which brings you into ELM 651. If we remember the last meeting, the last live session I did, I talked about that. Now, here's the problem with this. They violated your due process. Don't worry, it happened to me too. They did the same crap to me, okay? Except I was ready for them, okay? But we're not going to talk about me today. We're going to talk about you guys. So again, management violated your 650.2 and 650.4. Well, it's actually 650.2 through 650.4. So they violated three articles in the Elm. When they put you off duty, 7-day suspension without a coaching or a letter of warning. They're supposed to follow that process. No manager has the authority to skip that. And here's the thing, and I'm gonna put this out there, and I know people are gonna get mad, and I don't give a damn. Management loves to do this as a delay tactic, as a stall tactic. Craft employees, they will suspend you knowing you're gonna win the arbitration because they violated the due process. They know this already, but they don't care. A lot of them I've heard it with my own ears before. A lot of them just say, oh, I know they're gonna win, but I don't care. They're not here. And they know you're not in the office, and they're celebrating that like it's a real victory. That just proves you're a dirtbag. An ace is an ace and a spade is a spade. You violated this person's rights because you just felt like it, and that's systemic. That's what's happening across the Postal Service, across the United States, in Hawaii, in Puerto Rico, in Guam. Anywhere there's a Postal Service facility, United States Postal Service facility, they're doing the same damn thing, and it's wrong. It's systemic retaliation. So to that listener, they violated your 650.2, 0.3, and 0.4 rights. Now, you got 650.1. Go on my channel on YouTube or go on here on Facebook. I think it's still up. You can look at that one, and it tells you how to do it. I think I have a short on it too, 3-minute short on there somewhere. You go on there, yeah, it is disgusting. It's terrible. It's subhuman. There's more to my story with my interview with Lino, and he's gonna put it up eventually. We kind of wanted to just give you guys the important stuff now, and then we go more into it in a future video. There are a lot of guys that need help out there. A lot of people, a lot of you craft workers need help. Even my fellow EAS workers that are going through what I'm going through, reach out to him. He did a fantastic job on the video. I have no complaints. If interviews are something you guys want to start seeing, maybe I'll start doing them too. It wasn't something I was thinking about, but we'll talk about that at a later date. So back to the employee. This poor individual who's in the craft, they had their 14-day reverted to a letter of warning. Okay, so they won the 14-day suspension. They got flipped to a letter of warning. Then they beat the letter of warning and the 7-day. So in my logic as a manager, they won. All the disciplines come out. They throw them in their little shredder in the corner somewhere, and the person goes back to work. But again, they didn't do that from my understanding. And I'm going to tell you, they violated the ELM again. So now they violated 3 articles in the ELM plus this article. So now you're up to 4 violations. I hope your shop steward is hearing this, because this is free information for them. ELM 650.2, ELM 650.3, ELM 650.4, they violated. And then they violated 666.2 and Article 15 of the labor contract. Okay? We're going to go into that now. So now you're up to 5 violations just for you. So that person in Texas that's watching, 5 violations already. Tell your shop steward, get the ass in gear. Okay? Once that happens, once your stuff is rescinded, right? You won the case. You beat all the steps now. You beat the letter of warning, you beat the 7-day, you beat the 14-day. All the removals connected to that case is rescinded. That's ELM 666.2 and Article 15 of the labor contract. And you go back to work. you may be entitled to back pay. You may have title to you're entitled, may be entitled. You have to verify this stuff because every contract is different. You have the national contract and then you have the local contract. So you have to make sure that it's not conflicting with what I'm saying. But that's why I said you may. Again, don't quote me. Validate your information first before you start, picking at people, okay? The removal status is pending, but if the individual did not receive a defense and the union is not defending you now, you actually have a case with NLRB, which is the fair representation. Because if they know you won, there is no report to arbitration that the arbitration is still pending. That's dead. That's ELM 666.2 in Article 15. That's dead. You won the case. Person in Texas, you won. It's over. So don't let management do that to you. You follow up with your shop steward, you follow up with your union, and if you have to, you call the National Labor Relations Board and you report it to them. Because the more of us that speak up, the more we're gonna get change done. The government is wonky right now, it's all jacked. Everybody's fighting with everybody. This is the problem. There's more of us than them. Why are we fighting with each other? We need to be speaking up against them. There are 500,000 employees and like 100,000 managers, postmasters, blah, blah, blah. There's more of you guys than them. There's more of y'all than us. Why are we fighting with each other? We need to come together and speak up. It's the only way change is gonna happen, guys. So this person had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 violations. Now, they already won. You won. That's it. According to the ELM, because we're going by the ELM, that's it. You're good. You're supposed to be able to go back to work. You get your back pay if you're entitled to it. That's why I say you got to validate. You get your back pay if you're entitled to it, your back medical, your back insurance, your back everything. And the union will probably slap them with a pain and suffering thing, and you get that too. This is why the Postal Service is so deep in debt. If they just follow the policy, we wouldn't owe this much money. Anyway. So, for everyone else listening here, there's more things that this poor individual is entitled to. And I hope they're listening because I really felt for you and I really did my best to gather as much information as I could, seeing as you just reached me a few hours ago. I'm so sorry. I know you hit me up this morning, but I was running around and doing stuff. And, when my wife is home from work, I spend time with my wife. And yeah, so anyway, that's not important now. So again, for the viewers, we're going to break this down one more time. ELM 650.2 through 650.4. Only labor relation issues and the process removals, right? Well, the person won, they won their grievance, so that's it. It's done. Now it goes into ELM 666.2 and Article 15. Discipline must have a just cause, rescinded actions, void subsequent removal. So that means that removal that they have on you is removed. They can't even process it. So they got you home for nothing. Let that sink in for a minute. From my understanding, you've been home a year. So you've been home a year for nothing. Or, again, don't quote me, from the time you won your grievance to now. So whenever you won your grievance, I believe it was September or October, you know the dates, look at your paperwork. From that time to now, you've been home for nothing because there is no arbitration. They're lying to you. Get in contact with your union rep. Get in contact with the National Labor Relations Board. File your paperwork. And if I were you, file whistleblower protections as well. You could do it online. If you need help with that, I'll see if I can do like a video thing on screen. I'm still learning all this social media thing, but yeah, I don't really use it, to be honest with you. I'm still learning, but like we can figure this out. But yeah, know your rights. They violated your rights. You're home for nothing, not getting paid. You lost your insurance. You're going through problems for nothing. Don't feel bad, because that's happening to me now, and I'm a manager. So keep that in mind. 650.2 to 650.4. They violated 666.2 in Article 15 of your contract. They're supposed to give you 436.42. They reinstate you, and you're owed full back pay with benefits and restoration of rights. That pertains to you. You tell your shop steward, get off your ass. 436.42 says, I won this case and I'm entitled to full back pay, full benefits, and my restoration of rights. And you want to make sure these dirt bags, because I'm going to call them dirt bags, because they are, okay? You want to make sure that these people are not, what's the word I'm looking for? They didn't hire somebody for your position and didn't tell you anything, because that's another violation of postal policy, and it's also illegal. So if they did that, now they're looking at a civil lawsuit. You get what I'm saying? If you filed, I believe you filed EEOC. If you watch my podcast, my life things from before, don't even bother with them. That system is geared to help the organization. They make it look like they're trying to help you, but they ain't trying to do nothing. They're trying to help the organization. Their first duty is to make sure you don't sue. Go straight to the EEOC. Even if you got to wait a year, file it anyway. You could do it online. Go on the EEOC website, eeoc.gov, I believe it is, or Equal Opportunity Employment Commission, and you go on there and you file it. National Labor Relations Board, if the shop steward don't help you, file it against the union. They gotta defend you. It's the law. They don't have a choice to defend you. They have to defend you. It's the law. So, keep that in mind. I'm sorry if I'm yelling, this new thing. I keep forgetting this little thing is on me now. So if I'm yelling, I apologize to everybody. I'm really not trying to yell. If they're violating the law, okay, guys, make sure that you are following up with these people, because they want you to quit. Well, you're not a quitter. If you're here, you're not a quitter. If you're still up and you woke up this morning, you're not a quitter. So don't quit. Keep fighting. Keep going. So that's my message for that person out in Dallas, Texas. I'm here for you. I pray for you. And the community's here for you. And we support one another here. You're not alone. Okay? So keep that in mind. Remember, I'm going to repeat it one last time. 650.2, 650.3, 650.4. That's labor relations only, not local management. There's something wrong with that there. Got to look into that. I don't know the whole story, so I don't want to put my 2 cents in. I'm just telling you what's in the policy, okay? 666.2 and Article 15 of the contract, of your contract, okay? Your discipline must have just cause before they write you up. I don't know the whole specifics of your situation, but even then, there's more to that. Like if you watch my previous live, or either the first live or the last live I did, this is my 3rd one, but the first live or the second live, I don't remember exactly. I think it was the second one I did. I clearly say that management has a duty to exhaust all available, what's the word I'm looking for? All available, reasonable accommodations for you to solve the problem before corrective action is taken. Meaning, they were supposed to talk to you, they were supposed to coach you. And if you don't have a date and time for that coaching, that means it never happened. Before they gave you a 7-day, they were supposed to give you a letter of warning, a low. Not just give you the 7-day and then a 14-day and then try to remove you. They violated the policy. And since you didn't know the policy, they took advantage of you. So again, know your rights. This is for everybody watching today. Know your rights, okay, guys? Very important. Okay, Elm 436.42. That applies to you. You won. They are supposed to, they are required to reinstate you and back pay you and give you all your benefits with full restoration rights. It's in the Elm. This isn't a request, this is policy. And this is the problem. Management loves to take advantage of people that don't know the policy. Know your rights, and you could defend yourself against these people that are being dirtbags. And I'm saying that as a manager, and I don't, whatever. They already took everything from me, so they can kiss my butt. Moving on. Oh, you lost sound? How about now? It's on. Can anybody else hear me? Jess, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Dan. Maybe it's the connection. All right. Can anybody else hear me good? They're on. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's on. Maybe it's the connection, Diane. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, we're gonna keep going. It'll be up on the YouTube channel, dear, if you want to take a look at it with Steve later. And I appreciate those people that are not in the Postal Service still coming on these lives and watching. It means a lot to me. So, you know, like Diane doesn't work for the post office and neither does her husband. But I worked with her husband. He's cool as shit. Steve, what's up? Yeah, but those are my people in Montana that, you know, I knew for a long time. I still know them, and they still keep in contact with me and my wife. So that's awesome. Thank you guys for the support. But yeah, this isn't a one-off thing. It's a symptom of a larger breakdown in accountability. So when policy is ignored, when arbitration victories are dismissed, and when representation fails, every employee's rights are at risk. If it can happen once, it can happen to any one of us. That's why we speak out. Because the postal truth will always deliver. So yeah, that's one story. Now I'm diving into another story from another follower that just started following me. And I feel for this person because from what I got so far, from the podcast that I'm listening to, they worked since 2014, if I'm not mistaken, so far. They received systemic retaliation, abuse, and some other stuff. And I heard about 30 minutes of it so far, and I'm still listening to it, but I had to stop because I kind of caught myself a couple times getting a little flustered by it. But I'm gonna address that person if they're on today. They're out in Iowa, if I'm not mistaken. They're a retired carrier, but this is for you as well out there listening. Firstly, thank you for sending me your podcast. I appreciate the other people out there doing what we're doing. And it's important to get the word out no matter how you do it. And I appreciate you sending that to me. And I am going to finish it because my wife and I, we were both listening to it. And there's a lot of stuff there that I went through that you went through. And I'm a manager. So go figure. Shout out to all the people working in Home Depot. My wife, she used to work in Pro. She gave me this shirt. Shout out to everybody. She's got some other people from a job watching. I appreciate them too. Thank you for following. This viewer retired a couple years back, and they're still fighting the Postal Service. Now, where we share a lot of commonalities, I mean, I didn't call the cops or nothing because, you know, I didn't need to. But this person, you know, reached out to law enforcement, went that extra mile. I did contact my congressman, and I contacted the senator, and I contacted the Speaker of the House. The message got bounced back. The senator's message got bounced back. I contacted the White House 3 times. So I know what you're going through. I'm sorry you went through that. A couple things though. Number one, this person stated on the podcast that their postmaster openly on the workroom floor told this individual, if you can't handle this job, find another job. That's a violation of 66. What was that again? Let's go back up here again. We just talked about this ad nauseum. 665.23. That's a threat. That's intimidation. That's harassment. Violation 665.23. Doesn't matter if you're a postmaster or supervisor. No one has the right to violate your rights, including a person with that title. And speaking as a past postmaster, I have to say that that's deplorable. Unacceptable. Yes, you're going to have disagreements with your staff, but you're supposed to remain as professional as possible. So, yeah. Not cool. So, yeah. They violated 665.23, okay, which is also a big no-no. It's a violation of federal law, and it's a violation of postal policy. So they hit you with a double whammy. Another thing they did, and I'm going to speak to this as a person who used to work in the medical field for many years. Okay? Worked in the medical field in New York, 2 different hospitals. I worked in Montana in the medical field, 2 different hospitals. And I was even a hospital administrator at one point, and I can tell you, they violated the HIPAA law by by this person calling the other postmaster and telling them you have mental problems. That's a violation of HIPAA. They could go to jail for that, even retired. Because I understand they're all retired now. They can still go to jail. If you file the case now, they probably could still be charged with that. They violated the HIPAA law. They don't have the right to blur your business to nobody. If you batshit crazy, that's between you, God, and the doctor. It got nothing to do with her or him or anyone. So yeah, they violated your HIPAA rights. You want to look into that. Just a friendly thought. For those individuals that did that, it's managers and postmasters like you that give managers and postmasters like me a bad name. Because you guys thought it was okay to conduct yourself that way, and that's not acceptable. So yeah, I'm calling out on your BS too. I won't mention names because, you know, first thing people want to do is start suing people because they know it's the truth and they know that their feelings are hurt and, you know, they're exposed now, so they can't, like that lady in the baseball field that took the ball from the kid. They ruined my life. And now I want to sue for $2 million. Whatever. Not here. That ain't flying. Good luck with that. Anyway, yeah. So they violated your HIPAA rights because they put out your business. Okay? If you got PTSD, right here, I got it too. That ain't none of nobody's business unless you advertise it. It ain't the Postal Service's business. It ain't your manager's business only in regards to your paperwork. FMLA, reasonable accommodations. We went over that. I think it was last meeting. That's what it pertains to. But other than that, nah. They shouldn't be doing that. And this is what I'm saying. They think because, you know, I went to school with Samantha Fox, and I know Samantha Fox. Yeah, I know, just a random name. Samantha Fox, not the singer. All right. You know, I went to school with her, and then, yeah, she's postmaster now, so we're cool, you know. And, hey, Mom, how you doing? I hope you're feeling better. You didn't have to get on. I know you were still not feeling well. But, yeah, anyway, back to this. And you went to school with this person, and this person did that to you. You got more patience than a saint, man. I'm gonna leave that one alone, because I know myself. That's dirtbag right there. To the 10th power. You went to school with this person and they did that to you? Wow. Anyway. So, moving on, guys. Know your rights, man. So, back to that listener out in Iowa. Thank you for sending your podcast to me. It's a 5-hour one. I just got this thing, believe it or not, to start working because I got so much crap in my phone for my own case, and I had to, I backed up a lot of it, but I have to back up some more. I had to delete apps to download the new app so I can hear it. But it's in there. I'm gonna listen to it. I got you. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it's systemic, and we're talking about this ad nauseum. At what point does the organization say, "Hey, this is wrong"? Or even better, at what point does the organization hire someone that knows about the damn post office and stops hiring random people off the street that know nothing about the organization? Oh, but they're a businessman, they're gonna generate revenue. That's what they said about the last guy. Just saying. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Not gonna dive into that. But what do I know? The facts are online. You can find them yourselves. If you look up the Postal Regulatory Commission, and you look up documents, and you look up postal inspection documents and OIG reports, they're posted. They have to post them. Yeah, it is public. You can go in there and download them and read them. So yeah, that's another little tidbit for you guys that they don't tell nobody. Yeah, you can download that stuff. You can read everything. You could even read, you could go on Google and look up the reviews for your station. I'm scared to look up Flagler. Lino, you looked up Flagler? I'm scared to look at it. I'm leaving that one alone. And they got some good staff there. And it's a shame. It's a real shame. Anyway. Again, guys, this is systemic. And I'm not going to change my narrative on that because I'm living it now still. We're going on now 6 months. November 12th May 6 months. And I have not had justice. I was unlawfully denied my rights as an American citizen, as a federal employee, and just as a citizen of the United States of America. These guys violated my rights. And if they did it to me, and I'm a manager, they eat their own, what do you think they're gonna do to you if you don't know the policy? So guys, keep that in mind. Learn the policy. Any questions before I move on to current events? Well, you guys, if you have any questions, I'll leave that open and then I'll come in here and pull up what I'm going to talk about. Because I think that's very important. Okay, no. I'm looking for a particular one. Oh, is it here? Let me see. Give me 1 minute, guys. Is it that? No. Oh, no. It's not that. Okay. I think I posted it on my page. Hold on 1 second, guys, while I pull that up for you. I've been wanting to talk about this for a couple days now, and I figured today I would do it. Well, here's something new that just popped up, and I put it on my account. So it seems the Postal Service and UPS are holding hands again. Those of us that were clerks and carriers know, I don't think, those of us that are clerks and carriers know what a nightmare that was. I'm gonna just leave it right there. I guess we're moving into Nightmare on Postal Street, part 2. Yeah, guys, get ready for peak season. That's all I'm gonna tell you. It's in 60 days. Get ready. Wow. I'm gonna leave that one alone. But those of you that worked in the org a long time, y'all know what I'm talking about here about UPS and Postal Service. I mean, I've had conversations with UPS characters that said the carriers, and they themselves told me that was like, wow. But I'm gonna leave that one. Another current event I want to talk about. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, we talked about that. I'm looking for a certain one. Okay. So these are for all the OJIs out there. There's a meme on my Facebook that talks about the new generation. Yeah, the new generation of carriers and whatnot, and has Eric Cartman on there. It's funny as hell. Take a look at it. The new generation. Scroll down a little bit. I posted it a day ago, so you should still be able to see it. So that's another thing. There's another one, couple memes under that about postal CCAs coming back after their first day of training in the LLV. Yeah, I've had some experiences with that too. That was funny. That's up. Okay, that's up. Okay. Here's another one I want to talk about that came out of Fox 6 Milwaukee. Okay. States with the most lost, missing, damaged, delayed, or potentially stolen mail. And this came out on Fox 6 Milwaukee. From my understanding, it was about between 2022, 2024, more than 542,000 pieces of mail was done. That's 500,000 pieces of mail. No, you're good, Josh. Don't worry. 500,000 pieces of mail they lost. How many of those pieces were checks? How many of those pieces was medicine for the vets? Bills that had to get paid in a timely manner. They pay us all this money to deliver this mail and they lose it? Really? What are the machines for then? Oh wait, they don't catch everything. Remember, we talked about that before. I also talked about it on my my interview with Lena Miranda. So yeah, that's up everywhere right now, on all platforms. TikTok, I think, X, Facebook, Rumble, YouTube. If you ain't seen it yet, it's because you don't want to, but it's there. It's only like 25 minutes. Dive in. Yeah, I come with paperwork. Take a look at it, share it, like it, show the man love. He put a lot of work into it. Get the message out. If we don't start spreading the message, nothing's gonna change. These people think they're gonna keep doing what they're doing, and it's okay. Okay, so just keep that in mind. 542,000 pieces. Jesus Christ. Here's something else I want to bring up that's actually a good thing. Let's take a look where this was at. Okay, Redmond. I'm assuming this is Virginia. I believe this is in Virginia. I saw this on the postal workers memes. I actually like this, and I'm basically going to talk about it. It's a video. You have to go on my feed. It's on there, where they have all the postal vehicles driving in synchronization to celebrate the passing of one of our own that passed away. And this happened, the person's name apparently was Octavia from Redmond. RIP to her, and God bless her family. That kind of touched me. And here's why, and I'm gonna bring it up why. When I was a clerk in Montana, we lost one of our own in a highway in California somewhere. I don't remember the whole story, it's been a long time. But they pulled this poor woman out of an LLV. They murdered her and then stole her LLV full of mail. I mean, the cops put the person down, but still, we lost a sister that day. And that touched me. And for the first time, I says, man, we lower the flag for congressmen and senators and this person, activists and all this other stuff, but we don't lower it for our own postal workers, or have a specific day for postal workers to celebrate their life and their significance to the cause. And we don't talk about that. I'm going to fill out the form, and I'm going to recommend we have a day to lower the flag for the Postal Service workers. It doesn't have to be each person, but, lower the flag for, 1 day a year to give respect to those people, our brothers and sisters that lost their life in the line of duty, or that have passed on, and they retired and they didn't get to celebrate their retirement completely because their life was taken too short for whatever reason. And I got an email back from HQ, and I wish I saved it. I was so mad I deleted it. This was years ago, about 7 years ago. This person from HQ wrote to me and said, we can't accept your petition because it violates the privacy of the employee. What? What do you mean it violates the privacy of the employee? It's all over the national news that they was killed or whatever. What do you mean it violates the privacy of the employee? So you mean to tell me we got to celebrate, lower the flag for presidents, lower the flag for congressmen, lower the flag with people with money, but not our brothers and sisters? My postmaster was even shocked. She was like, whoa. Because she was the one that said, you should put it in. And I said, yeah, because I was talking to her about it. She gave me the encouragement to put it in, and I put it in. And these fucking people turned around and sent me that email. And I was so mad when that happened. So mad. So seeing this, people driving around in the vans and celebrating the loss of our sister, respect to them. All of them, for doing the right thing. Because it seems like we got to do it ourselves because we got no help from nobody. We got no respect from nobody. That's terrible. We're federal employees. We need to do better. We need to take care of each other. There's more of us than them sitting up there. At what point does this stop? Think about that, guys. Guys and gals, brothers and sisters. We got kids. We work to support our families. We work to take care of our families. And we got people sitting up top in cozy offices drinking coffee, air-conditioned rooms, while you guys are in LLVs with no AC. Think about that. Yeah. Those vans are like 50 years old plus. They break down almost every day. They're supposed to be long life vehicle. Where? Those things break down more than my car. Than my dad's old car. Something to think about, guys. Take that with you. Another thing I want to talk about. Another current event thing that's going on in the org. This is for managers and supervisors and postmasters. This new pay scale they got going on now. I'm gonna read the email because they send the same letter to both management associations. So I'm just gonna read one of them, and then I'll read one letter. It's the same letter again, cookie cutter, copy paste, and then talk about more or less what I got from it. I could be wrong, but again, this is just my opinion. Verify what I'm saying, and then go from there. Pursuant to Title 39 U.S. Code subsection 1004E, the Postal Service's decision for changes in pay policies, schedules, and fringe benefits for postmasters and managers that are members of your organization through May 22nd of 2026 is enclosed. This decision is the outcome of the pay consultation process and was made following full and fair consideration of the recommendations submitted by the United Postmasters and Managers of America. Sincerely, and I won't say the person's name. This came from headquarters. Okay, so they got us on a 10-point rating system. Now, managers and supervisors know that back in the day, we didn't have this thing called MPA, and that's what they're going by now, metrics. Everything is metrics. Metrics this, metrics that, points this, points that. So Who in the hell thinks their station is going to get a 10? I'll wait. Now, if you lie to yourself and say, I do my job and my station's going to get a 10, I'm going to get 9%. Yeah, okay. Now, after that, it goes downhill. So 10 is a 9%, 9 is 7.5, 8 is 6.0, 7 is 5.0, 6 is 4.0, 5 is a 3.5, 4 is a 3.0, 3 is 2.0, 2 is 0, and 1 is 0. No, you good, Josh, don't worry. Let me tell you something. I know a lot of stations that think they're gonna rank in the 5s and 9s, and they're actually like a 2 or 3. So if you're lying to yourself thinking you're gonna get a good raise every year, this ain't even gonna meet the cost of living adjustments. This is for postmasters and field managers. Now, headquarters is the same thing with them. And it goes by individual rating. So if they're a 1, nothing. If they're a 2, 2%, 3, 3.5, 4 is a 4, and then 5 is a 5. So we see where all the 5 points are gonna go to. Because you notice they don't have a 10-point scale here, right, for them. They have a 5-point scale. They have it easier than we do. Take that into consideration. Again, postmasters, managers, and field managers have a 10-point scale, and headquarters managers have a 5-point scale. How is that fair? Something to think about, guys. Functional MPA. So, eligible headquarters managers and performers pilot programs are also measured under the numerical 10-cell National Performance Assessment (NPA) program, which determines an additional variable lump sum payout. So now they get lump sums too. Interesting. Headquarters managers get an easier pay scale than we do, and they get lump sums. Wow. Do you see where your lunch money is going, guys? Just saying. You guys are doing all the work. You're the ones cleaning up your stations. You're the one trying to prepare for that Gimba. And these people are over there sitting in the office with AC controlled rooms, sipping coffee, and getting on telecons on the phone, on the computer, and yelling at you all day. That's all they do. And supposed to be filing their reports. You're the one on the ground, but you're measured on a harder rating system than them. Something to think about. Health contributions, salary ranges, we're not even gonna go through it because maximums for grades 17 through 21 is increased by 3%, and range minimums, maximums for EAS grades and other salary schedules to be increased by 1. These increases will be effective January 10th of next year, 2026. Health benefits contributions. This is why we took the job for, right? Because we're supposed to have good health benefits, right? Good retirement, good health benefits. The Postal Service used to be a job everybody wanted. People fought for this fucking job, man. Like, they would sell their kids for this damn thing. And now it's like, what is the point? Why would you want a job here? So they can do to you what they did to me and other people, some other viewers that we got on here now? What is the reward for working for them? Now, they lowered their plan. It used to be 75% contribution for your health insurance, now it's 72, which means, guess what? You pay more. Again, how is that fair? So headquarters gets an easier scale than we do. They get lump sum bonuses. And we are on a harder scale than them. We're on a harder scale than them, right? And we have to pay more than them now. Tell me how that's fair. Explain that to me. I'll wait. Annual leave. Here's something positive. They went from 168 hours you could exchange a year from the annual leave exchange to 208. Why the hell would you exchange any leave for? I wouldn't. You never know when you're going to need it. Look at me. I had to use mine to survive for a few months and now I have nothing. Even though they were supposed to be paying me. So think about that, guys. When you are going over your benefits plans this year, take a look at that. That goes across the board now. Craft employees do the same thing. From my understanding, they're trying to push us all into this new federal postal health benefits plan, which is supposed to be the equivalent of the OPM thing that they got going on. They want to siphon us all into an OPM plan. It's not financially feasible. It doesn't cover anything. But look at your benefits, look at everything, make sure you guys can do it. But remember what I said, verify everything before you push that button. This doesn't matter for me because I'm not getting health benefits next year. You know why I'm not getting health benefits next year? Because they have me home because they won't accommodate me. So that means I don't qualify for medical insurance now. So I'm going to lose my insurance. If my wife wasn't working, I wouldn't have medical insurance. So let that sink in. So they caused me undue hardship. We'll just add that to the other things that they did to me. Just keep digging. Anyway, back to your stuff. Okay. Other items. EAS 18Bs and EAS 20s exempt postmasters in installations designated as a Sunday hub and without authorized supervisor positions will be classified as special exempt. Those postmasters will be eligible for additional pay consistent with the policy for special exempt employees. Thank you, Scipio. Yeah, it's terrible. So basically for EAS 18 and 20s, so an EAS 18 is an APO postmaster and a level 20, depending on what installation they're in, can be an APO postmaster. An APO postmaster is administrative post office postmaster. It means you oversee more than one facility. So instead of having one big facility, you have maybe two facilities, and you have to manage the 2 or 3 facilities simultaneously. It's not really hard because they usually manage themselves, but sometimes you have to go in there and fix stuff, and that becomes time consuming. So yeah, the fact that they're going to get extra pay now, if they're a Sunday hub installation. So the only way they can be a Sunday hub installation is if they have this giant metal, what do you call that, shipping container outside their facility where Amazon could do a drop and they work Sunday delivery, then they get that. But most level 18 post offices are closed on Sunday. So level 18Bs, level 18s, and level 20s are usually closed on Sunday. So I don't see how that is gonna help any of them at all. Yeah, they don't have supervisors anyway. The ones I knew about didn't have a supervisor. It was just the postmaster, and that was it. And a lead clerk. If it was more than 5 offices. If it was 4 offices total, you didn't have a lead clerk. You had a senior clerk, and that person got better hours and stuff because of that only, due to seniority, but there wasn't a lead clerk in anything under 5 offices. So keep that in mind. Occupational health nurses, administrators. So occupational health nurse administrators will be eligible for reimbursement up to $500 annually for expenses associated relevant with professional certifications. Do you know how much those certifications cost? Speaking for someone that used to work in the medical field, I can tell you a fuck ton of money. And they're only giving them $500. But they just gave themselves lump sums and an easier pay scale. Yeah, think about that, guys. Jesus Christ. Anyway, the Postal Service and UPMA, and then the other side is said NAPS, will continue consultation on UPMA's proposal to establish a differential for postmasters and managers in field operations. Well, there should be differential pay because we have supervisors working 12, 16 hours a day and not getting paid for it. They should be getting paid for it. You do the work, you should get the pay. Instead, you have the postmasters in larger installations, like my postmaster, manipulating time cards so they don't have to pay. And it keeps their scores looking good for headquarters. That's federal fraud, by the way. Okay, moving on. The Postal Service and UPMA will continue consultation. Yeah, I read that. Evaluating the duties required by postmasters in level 22 and above offices and potential modifications to non-bargaining staffing models. Okay. Here's why I even brought this up. If it started with us, eventually it'll trickle down to the craft. Know your rights, follow up, do what you need to do, and go from there. Okay? But yeah, keep an eye open for that. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to bring that up and talk about that also. This was the last thing I wanted to talk about, the last meeting, but I didn't get to because we got a little distracted. There's something else here I want to bring up. Yeah, great. For everyone that's affected by the government shutdown, there's something I put on my page for everyone, basically, including my brothers and sisters in the organization. Supposedly Aldi has a special for Thanksgiving. It's like $40, and you get the turkey and some fixings with it and stuff like that. Yeah, it's like you could feed 10 people for $40. They're claiming. You get a whole turkey, chicken broth, condensed cream, a mushroom soup, evaporated milk, Hawaiian sweet rolls, miniature marshmallows, cut green beans, pure canned pumpkin, shells and cheese, gravy. I don't know if all this stuff, there's more there, but I don't know if all these do this or if this is even real. But if it is real, check it out. There's a link there on my page. It was posted 3 days ago. You guys can scroll down and click it. I hope it's real for everyone that's having issues right now like me. Go out there and celebrate your family. Celebrate your family. Celebrate life. Because even though we're going through shit right now, we have that. We woke up this morning. Life is beautiful. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So trying to find this one. There was a report a couple days ago. I posted it up. I don't see it now. But anyway, it was about a congressman. Okay, I don't have the report on me in front of me, but it's on my page somewhere. If I find it, I'll reshare it again. A congressman or a senator holding the Postal Service accountable for hiring convicted sex offenders. Why would they hire convicted sex offenders if they're not supposed to hire anyone that has a felony? No fucking idea. My personal opinion, they're not supposed to. But they were caught doing it apparently. So, and they're placing these individuals in communities where there are women and children, and we're not allowed by policy to say who's who, but I would honestly keep your eyes open. Again, they keep breaking the law and there's no accountability. No one's saying anything except this brave senator. I think he's in Idaho. I wish I found the page so I can read it to you guys. I posted it about a week or two ago. Trying to find it now on my tablet while I have you guys on. But yeah, it came out in the news and everything. I mean, I don't understand the logic behind that. We shouldn't be doing that. There are women and children on these routes, rural communities, and I'm pro-rural community because I started off as a rural postmaster. I worked in the rural post offices. I'm pro-rural. Those are the ones that are going to be susceptible to this stuff because everyone is so sparsely spread apart from one another. It's not, guys, I don't know why they're doing this, but protect your family. Keep your eyes open. Yeah, it is crazy. It is creepy and it's criminal. They shouldn't be doing it, but they're doing it. I don't understand. I just don't get it. Why would they hire convicted sex offenders and place them in our communities? I don't know why. But this senator said they're doing it. I'd never heard anything about it personally. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I never physically heard anything about it in my tenure. Again, it came out on the news and this dude put this senator or congressman, he put out a legislative thing. I really wish I had it here. Yeah, I don't know. I post a lot of weird stuff, so it's probably can't find it now. But anyway, yeah. Protect your families. Make sure you're watching the kiddos. For my brothers and sisters, keep an eye open. I really wanted to read this to you. All right, we'll last week I talked about peak season, the Postal Service saying they're ready. Maybe the rural offices are ready because they're so used to this system. Oh, here we go. My wife found it for me. Thank you, honey. Iowa. Oh, what do you know from our listener from earlier? You'll love this one. The issue of the United States Postal Service hiring registered sex offenders was brought to light and is being investigated by Senator Chuck Grassley, a Republican in Iowa, based on protected whistleblower disclosures provided to his office. Senator Grassley revealed that the U.S. Postal Service had hired registered sex offenders as mail carriers in September 2024. He spoke on the Senate floor about a specific instance where an employee who had disclosed their status as a registered sex offender on their application was hired and later placed on administrative leave. Further investigations by Senator Grassley's office uncovered that as of 2024, the USPS employed 150. Saw how I paused there, right? 150 registered sex offenders, with 102 having access to public and 70 having access to the public, meaning they worked in communities, okay? And 77 of those working as mail carriers. What the fuck? Guys. I'm at a loss for words. I had 3 background checks because I owed child support when I first got hired by the Postal Service, and they hired sex offenders. Okay, moving on. Senator Grassley has criticized the U.S. Postal Service for obstructing congressional oversight by refusing to provide a complete list of the names and routes of the sex offenders, citing the Privacy Act. He argues that this lack of transparency poses a risk to public safety, especially to children and families on the mail routes, which is what I just said. Thank you, honey. Which is what I just finished saying that before I even read that to you. So I'll go on the record and say that That's deplorable. Unacceptable. And this is what I mean by the lack of oversight in the organization. And here's the thing. I come on here. I came on twice already. 2 weeks, a week ago, I did 2 lives, and now this is the 3rd one. Not everybody in the organization is a bad person. There's people on my stream right now that I see that I've personally worked with that are great fucking people. They go to bat for their staff. They go to bat for their communities. They go to bat for the families. One of them on here, I'm not gonna call them out. Excellent postmaster, personally trained me. Excellent. She was a hard ass, but you know what? I was a stubborn motherfucker, so I needed that. That's when we had the org mentoring the new. We had people that gave a shit and they helped us. Now, you come down here and it's sink or swim. But they can hire sex offenders to deliver mail. Now, yes, the Postal Service is right. They have the Privacy Act, which is in the Postal Handbook. And yeah, they're not supposed to reveal the personal identities of the mail, which means the Congress will have to get a subpoena and they'll have to do it the long way. But here's the thing, they should have never been hired. Why did this organization hire them? Here's another thing. They don't drug test them. You know how I know? Some more truth-telling time. When I worked in Flagler Post Office, I was a supervisor, customer service. That's no story. That's no hidden secret because the video is live already. And Lino and I talked about that in great detail. But something I didn't mention in that video that I'm going to mention right now. When I worked in Flagler, I was working one night and I was walking to the registry cage, doing my rounds, making sure that the stuff was out of the office. And I always look at my surroundings when I walk, and I looked down and I saw about a half, that much marijuana in the postal facility. I picked it up, I tagged it, put it in a postal envelope, and I called the station manager and I told her, what do you want me to do with this marijuana? Where did you find it? On the floor in your station. So for the weed to get in the building, somebody brought it in, which means it's a postal worker that brought it in. Now, I know we got medical cards and stuff like that, but on postal property, we're not supposed to have it. So if you smoke your ganja and you have a medical card, you don't do it in the post office, you do it in your house. But for some reason, that whole bag of weed was in the building. So I told her, what do you want me to do? Oh, just put it in my office. Your office is locked. So I shoved it under the door. And I don't know how I did it. I squished it and I got it under there. About a day or two later, I asked her, did you contact postal inspection? Oh, for what? The marijuana that I found here. Oh, yeah. They said there's nothing they can do. That's what she told me. There's nothing they can do? What the fuck do they do then? That's their job. Okay? Then she tried to make light of it. Oh, yeah, I was sitting in the office and I was talking with, I forgot who said she was talking to. I blurred her out after I heard what I needed to hear. Oh, yeah, and I was talking to this person. And I was like, what's that smell? And I forgot the weed was under my table because you slid it under the door. So you're telling me postal inspection never came to pick up the marijuana? That's all I kept hearing. So if they never came and picked up the marijuana, what did she do with it? Okay, I'll leave that to interpretation. You guys take with that as you will. Then the second time I found marijuana, because yeah, I found marijuana twice in 1 year. About 3 days later, I found a little dime bag of marijuana. Not by the registry cage this time. It was actually by the entrance to the post office, to the building, to Flagler, through the dock doors. I found it there on the floor when I went outside to go check the GPCs and the wire retainers out there. Because I think it was during political season, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was, and I was all over the place that year, that time. But anyway, found it again. Did the same thing. Nothing. So I'll leave you to interpret what you want there. You do with that information what you think you will. But the point is that you find this stuff, you're supposed to report it. Nobody's reporting anything. From my conversation with Lino, we had an issue in the station and there was nothing reported. Why? Why are these things not being reported? Why is no one following the policy? Why do we have clerks who's supposed to be working, who won their grievances, still out, and you're lying to them, telling them they can't come back to work because you owe them all this money you know you have to pay? And you want to wait till after the fiscal year to bring them back so you don't take a hit to your budget. That's the only reason I could think of. Or you subletted the person's position, knowing you wasn't supposed to, but you did it anyway. Because these people just do what they want to do. No one follows the policy. Only those dedicated postal workers, like the person that trained me, myself, a few other postmasters I know that were like, we're going to do this right. We're going to set an example. And they did. And we did. And the only reason why I came down here, and this person's on here now, and I want them to know, I'm sorry I didn't listen. I should have just stayed in Montana. You're right. I should have just stayed there. It would have been better. But it's okay. Because things happen for a reason. And two things can be true. I agree. But maybe I was meant to do something more. And that's why I'm in this situation. So yeah, it's a hard situation to be in, but maybe through what I'm doing, things will finally get fixed. Maybe someone will step up and say enough is enough. We'll see. But yeah, that's what's going on. Peak season is around the corner, 60 days, good luck. Here's another one I posted on my site, and then I'm just gonna leave that alone for there. There's someone running around dressed like a postal carrier. They're going into buildings and stealing mail, dressed as a postal service letter carrier. They got a satchel and everything. Yeah, it's valid, but we have the same theft going on inside the postal service now. When I worked in Flagler, they had open parcels. People were stealing packages. You know why they were stealing those packages? Because management was scanning those packages as delivered when they weren't delivered. So the carriers knew that, the clerks knew that, and people that steal, stole. And they're probably still stealing because no one is changing the rhythm. We got our local runner here for president of his national branch, of his local branch actually, Lino Miranda. He can attest to what I'm saying because he worked in the same station with me. They're stealing shit because no one's doing anything. If the managers are scanning packages as delivered, and they're stealing it, and then the customers are coming to the window, and then you're gonna send me to go talk to them, or ask me to go talk, or my supervisor comes to me and says, oh, they want to speak to a manager. Why? Oh, because their package. What did you tell them? Oh, but their package is not here. Why is the package not here? Oh, they said it was delivered and it wasn't delivered. What does the GO say? I make them tell me what it says. You know why? Because if you don't get an answer out of them, they'll just sweep it under the rug, and then you're the one getting yelled at all day. So no, that doesn't fly. Anyway, let's recap. Oh, there's something else on Lino's page that I think is very, very good for you guys. I'm gonna reshare it now, as a matter of fact, so that you guys have it. It's all about whistleblowers and how to do things legally. Thank you, Lino, for sharing that stuff, by the way. There we go. I just reshared it on the Facebook page, so you guys can look at that. There we go. Take a look at that. And when you got time, arm yourself with knowledge. It's how you learn what to do and what not to do. We're going to do a little recap, and then I think we're good for today. Let me go in here and pull up my stuff. Okay. So a brief recap. We talked about ELM 434.14. On duty call. If you're on call duty, 434.14, make sure you read the criteria to make sure you meet that criteria if you're going to be on call. It's very important to know the policy. If you're not physically in the geolocation of the post office, don't expect to be paid. That's like trying to ice skate uphill. That's not happening. Come on, guys. Keep it real. Okay? If you're by the post office and you have to stay with your phone and you're like physically on call, that's a change to your life, and it's restricted living. So then yes, you qualify for pay under the Fair Labor Standards Act. Okay, so yes, 434.14 does apply to you. Uniform codes for my clerks and my carriers out there. ELM 930 says you have to wear a uniform. It doesn't say anything about wearing a Christmas hat during Christmas. It doesn't say anything about wearing bunny ears during Easter. It doesn't say anything. Just don't come around looking like Batman. All right? Don't. I've seen that before too, actually. No, don't dress like Batman. Don't even wear the cape, all right? Just wear your postal uniform. Make sure you got the right shoes and you're good to go. ELM 930, right? That talks about the uniforms and what you need to wear. Also, if you work in the public, try to look presentable. I've seen postal workers that look more rugged than I do right now. I'm home, so I look like this, but you guys are in the public, so they can get you with that too. Okay, so just be careful. Okay. But remember, it's a process. They're supposed to go through steps. They can't just take you from A to 10 or A to Z, I should say. Okay. They have to go through the process. They have to coach you. They have to load you. They have to 7-day, then 14, and then out the door. Okay. They can't just skip it. A lot of managers that have real ethics will follow the policy. That's the way I was taught. Follow the steps. But the managers in Miami that I've met don't do that. They do it on purpose because they know they don't care. You understand? So keep that in mind, guys. You're dealing with people like me, they will abuse their authority, which is another violation. I believe that was 665.23, if I'm not mistaken. We talked about that earlier. I believe it was 665.23. Yep, 665.23 is abuse of authority. So they're not supposed to do that either, but they do. Okay? They also violate your 650 rights. So that person out in Texas was 650.2, 650.3, and 650.4. Really? They didn't give that person any justification to defend themselves, and they didn't do anything to rectify the situation. They just wanted the person gone. They felt a certain way, and they took personal motives. And then that carrier out in Iowa, whose postmaster shouted out their medical stuff on the workroom floor, that's a violation of HIPAA. It's also a violation of the ELM. So we'll go back into that also on the way down. So again, uniform codes, make sure you wear them, guys. ELM 930. If you wear bunny ears and stuff, I didn't have an issue with it. make sure your supervisors are right. You guys know who the cool supervisors are and who are not. Okay, just keep that in mind. Don't test the water now. And don't say Angel told you to do this either, because I ain't telling you to do nothing. Okay, follow the policy. All right. Okay, again, we just talked about that 7-day deal. So Elm 666.2 and Article 15 of the labor contract, they violated that when they send that carrier or that clerk home without pay. And she won her grievances, and instead of them bringing her back, they're telling her, oh no, you gotta wait for arbitration. There is no arbitration. The Elm clearly says, once you win the grievances, those steps are killed. It's dead. It's dead. Follow up with your shop steward. Okay? Again, this is where that pertains to you again, that clerk out in Texas. 436.42, they're supposed to reinstate you. They owe you back pay and restoration rights. That's the policy. That's the Elm. That's not Angel. That's the policy. Follow up with your shop steward. And if that doesn't work, National Labor Relations Board will take care of you. And yeah, I think we're good for today. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts? I'm trying to keep this as an education model for people that don't know the policy. I think it's time we teach rather than correct, because correct is abuse of authority. If you're not going to follow the steps, you're just abusing your authority. Anybody questions, thoughts, concerns? No? Okay. I'm going to bring up one more Elm policy, and we talked about this last time. Okay? Reasonable accommodation. This was for that carrier out in Iowa. The Rehabilitation Act of 1973 and Elm 546. Elm 546 is rehabilitation. They're supposed to accommodate you in a reasonable time. You are supposed to be placed on administrative leave with pay, pending your process. They're not supposed to LWOP you. But management loves doing that. They're doing it to me now. Okay? Don't let them violate your rights. And if someone's violating your rights, put them on blast so they stop doing it. Miami, District 3 is violating people's rights. Stop it. You guys are grown men and women. Stop acting like children. You know the law. Stop breaking the law. End of. I'm not going to sugarcoat it no more. You're breaking the law, stop. It's going to cost you in the end if you keep doing it. I'm going to leave that one alone. Okay? M546.142. Okay? They're supposed to act promptly and explore options. Now, it may not be the best options. They can't demote you unless you give them permission to. And you can't go as an EAS manager or supervisor back to craft if you've been in that EAS position longer than a year. They don't tell you that either. You lose all your bennies, you lose your insurance, you lose everything. So keep that in mind. Okay, guys. 665, abuse of authority. I've said that ad nauseum. Don't let them abuse their authority. They're not supposed to. It's the policy. This isn't me saying you can't do this, you can't do that. It's the policy. Now, believe it or not, the Postal Service publishes this stuff because they have to. All these agencies have to publish their policies for anybody that works for them. So they either give it to you in your hand, which sometimes they do in those little handbooks. They give them to you, the Elm handbooks. I don't know if they do that anymore. When I came in, I got one. I don't know if they still give them out anymore, but and the postal handbook too. So you got like two of them. One that was a postal manual, a postal handbook they called it, and then the Elm, which is the Employee Labor Relations Manual. Okay, and that's how you learn this stuff. But now they have everything online, so you can just go on Light Blue, go on Blue, or even go on Google and search it, and it'll pull it up for you. Okay, we live in a glass house now. One of my managers back in the day used to say that. When I was a tour supervisor in Montana. We live in a glass house. We can't hide anything anymore. He's right. You can't. The Postal Service can't hide anything, so why are they still trying? Because you guys don't know your rights. Arm yourself and you'll be just fine. Guys, thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you for listening to me. I hope this was an educational thing for you and you guys learned something. And as always, if you need to reach me, reach out to me privately on social. We have a TikTok, we have an Instagram, we have a Facebook now for the Postal Truth channel. We now have the YouTube open and going. This video here will be uploaded eventually to YouTube either tomorrow or the day after on Monday. I'll get it uploaded for those people that missed it. And it stays on Facebook for 30 days. And then after that, it comes down. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for your attention. And I appreciate you all. Be safe. Don't let management break you. Don't let anybody break you. And remember, you're a person. You have rights. Arm yourself. Okay, guys? Any questions, you know how to reach me. Take care. God bless. We'll see you next Saturday, 8 p.m. Unless you guys want Sunday. I'm not really a Sunday guy because I like to keep Sundays for family. But if you guys want to do a Sunday, let me know. We can change it up. Yeah. Let me know. If anybody wants Sunday or next Friday, just hit me up, okay, on the thread there, okay? We'll talk about it. All right, guys? Take care. Be safe. Have a good night.